too early in the morning to get inspired. Well, three of you are here at 7 in the morning, so God bless you for that.
Well, Annie, you take me back to 4 years old when I first had some awareness of myself and a calling, a life mission. I really did. And my words in my little body and brain were, I want to help the world be a better place. And I've been living that out. I went about it the wrong way for a few decades. But that's my signature story, my transformation, my personal transformation that brings me to the work that I'm doing now as a mentor of mentors for coaching and pushing the envelope on what mastery is in our profession. That's what I'm about. It's the evolution of consciousness. That's the wave I'm riding, and I'm sharing. I'm sharing that new wave of consciousness as to what mastery is in our lives as well as in our coaching work.
That is so yummy, Fran. And having, met you when I was on my journey towards my MCC way, way back in 2009, I can say that's true. That is an evolution of consciousness. My entire life changed. Oh my goodness, my entire life changed when I did my preparation. Who I was and what my awareness was completely altered and shifted.
Beliefs.
Everything.
That brings a good point, that you never know what someone is really going to connect to, right? Like, one thing that may be for somebody might be deeply transformative for somebody else. So, and I think for me, that's the same with, for example, creating belonging, which I think is what connects me to coaching. And this idea that as coaches, we help people create belonging in their own lives, but also in their own communities. And I do a lot of work with diversity and equity and inclusion. And you never really know what doors other people open if you give them space.
Anyway, Lisa, just to bring you up to speed, we're having a little bit of a conversation because we were talking about having a video that would invite, what is it about the Essence of Mastery Summit that we really want people to know about? What is it that had you say yes? What is it that has it be important to you to have a platform like this? Because it's your stage. You have something important to say. You have something important to share. So what is that?
So can I speak to that? Hooray. So you mentioned before we hit recording, Annie, like kind of this idea of kind of feeling like, oh, people don't know this. Like witnessing something and then, oh, they don't know this about coaching and they don't know this about this thing. And one of the things that I find so fascinating is, I promise this is going to come back to the original point, but is our optical blind spot. And the nature of our optical blind spot is not that it's a place we can't see. What's fascinating about it is that it's a place that we cannot see, that we cannot see. So if I look in my field of vision, there's no black void that I can sort of consciously be like, oh, I can't see this. My brain covers it over for me. There's a completely coherent, consistent field of view. And our psychic, our egoic, our energetic, our conscious blind spot is the same way. So it's not that I'm like, oh, I just don't know this stuff. I don't know that essence of mastery stuff. I don't know what's happening with the MCC. That would be cool, because then I would go and seek it out. It's that I don't even know that I don't know. In fact, if I look in my life, in my world, everything is perfectly consistently fit together. And by the way, I'm describing myself as much as anyone else. So the thing I think is so beautiful about this work, and that has me be such a stand for this, is that mastery is a path that doesn't have an end to it. And not so much like, the reason I think getting an MCC is so valuable for coaches is because it puts them on that path again. You know, we've probably all walked it a little bit, but it reinvites us back to that path, and hopefully to the joy of discovering what we can't see, because most of us live in fear of that. Oh, frig, what am I going to see? What's going to be revealed to me? What's it going to mean about me? You know, all of that stuff. And instead, there's this beautiful opportunity to be in the game of life where there's continually a new edge to pull back, to unfold, to lean into, to discover, and then to master, and then to go back around and like start the next lap around that track. And so that's what really has me excited about this work, is not to like push something in front of someone's face or make them see what they need to see, but hopefully to have them become inspired towards the thirst that's available for this incredible game of self-discovery. Yo.
Beautifully said. I love how you said that, Adam.
I love that.
Mm.
Continually a new edge. I love that, Adam.
Mm.
Yeah.
I do too, when I'm not in the midst of facing it.
Well, yeah, I was reminded of what I embrace. I was going to say deal with my mentees, is that beginner's mind. You know, it comes up with a judger, like, I'm failing. I'm not. That's not good enough. You know. It will, those new edges will often trigger
Yes.
those emotions. And
I should be somewhere I'm not, etc.
yes, should, not good enough. And so I get to, well, let me think about that. I'll turn.
There's one other piece I'd love to share while you're
Yeah,
thinking about
please.
that. Would that be all right, Annie?
Of course.
One of the things I continually see, and you and I, Annie, were having a discussion about this in our Essence of Mastery Facebook group, is that we're taught by the world around us, don't trust yourself. Oh, you want to be a hockey player? Don't do that. Here's what makes sense. Go to school, do this, learn this, get good grades, do that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you want to have a job where you just talk to people and life's kind of easy? Don't trust that. That's crazy. Become an accountant. That's a good, solid, stable profession. And this just happens constantly. Oh my gosh, I'm super attracted to that beautiful person. That's shallow. You shouldn't feel good about that, feel bad about that. And it's all done innocently and with like goodness intended. And yet the impact is that we're left in this world trying to figure out like, what's the right answer? Because we can't trust what exists here. And what I love about mastery, what I love about this work, is that we're coming back here. And we start to live our lives from a place where we trust this. And it doesn't mean we don't receive feedback. In fact, we're more open to feedback because we can trust this. And the feedback doesn't mean, oh my God, I've gotten it wrong the whole time. And so I love that this work makes life simpler and easier, and we feel better about ourselves, and we don't have to figure so much stuff out. It's just such a relief, such a relief.
Well, there's so much yes in what's already been shared. I think my neck hurts from nodding so hard, Annie. Which is part of what I love about the summit, is I'm surrounded by those who feel very much the same way about the coaching profession, about coming back to ourselves, about the health of the world, and the desire to redirect that health to a different path. I've been deepening my yoga practice over the past couple of years. And what I keep coming back to, and one of my favorite phrases, is when the yoga teacher says, all of our training, all of our work on our mat is to deepen the understanding that we are our greatest teachers. And building off of what Adam said, I really believe that there's such a performative nature about our society. Everything's based on performance, wanting to get the results, that title, that job, that status, that house, and there's always a next there. And it lengthens that space between where we're at and the happiness or the joy or the presence or the love that we're trying to get to. It doesn't actually close the gap, it lengthens it. So what I learned from my own journey, and by the way, my journey to MCC was so unbelievably healing and cathartic to me that's actually what I like to talk about when it comes to mastery, is how what a gift it is that we get to do that work on ourselves, that we learn that we are our greatest teachers, that mastery is about understanding ourselves and being such a clean clearing for others to be able to know and understand that they are also their greatest teachers. But in order to change any behavior, in order to change anything outside of us, we actually have to model that first. And that is science. In order to change someone else's behavior, the best way to do that is to model that behavior ourselves. And we do that as coaches, regardless of where we are, ACC, PCC, no CC, whatever it is. Our job is to do that, is to model the integrity, the excellence, the partnership. I believe that there's, I think, three different levels of mastery that really stuck for me, and it's what had me pursue my MCC in the first place. The first is that endless curiosity, the being an endless student, an endless learner, always, and forever. I think there's so much richness and reason to do that. The second is partnership. I think that we are such a lonely world, and partners is one of the most common action verbs in the new core competencies. It's like partners. I think it's amazing. It just goes to show how important it is. I don't know if you've heard of this study, but Harvard did a study over 85 years around what actually makes people happy.
Yes.
And it's not money, it's not career, it's not even health, it's relationships, positive relationships. And so coaching at this level actually brings joy because of who we're being in that partnership. It allows that access. And then the last piece is what I already touched on, that Adam said much better than me, which is learning that we are our greatest teachers and providing that access point to others. At a very crass kind of basic level, when I'm talking about the difference between consulting and coaching, I like to say that it's actually much more sustainable to coach someone to success than it is to consult someone to success, because they are learning their own journey towards success rather than someone telling them.
A woman. That's my new expression. A woman, amen. Beautifully said, Lisa. So inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me be here. Thanks for inviting me.
How about you, Mike? Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Good morning, everyone. No, it's been, I'm not even going to try to follow all that brilliance. All I'll say is this, for me, my journey to mastery was much like Lisa said, very cathartic in becoming a better human being, a better servant leader. And I always bring everything back to the hero's journey. And much like Adam said, you know, you go through these experiences, you see what's not there, or you see what you don't want to see, and then you come back and start over again, much like their hero journey. And for me, getting to the level of ACC back in the day, and then PCC is just the hero's journey over and over again. And then being able to have the mentor that I had, of course, was Fran, to support me in becoming a better human being, a better servant to humanity via the knowing that further criteria of ICF, I am at that level, but also the flow state that when you are in that good coaching conversation where transformation is taking place. It's just an honor and a privilege to be part of that. So it's that honor and privilege of being the best servant I can be via coaching to the individual, or as we were talking about here, humanity. That really draws me to this group and to continue my mastery and my journey.
Oh, and Mike, you became a better husband and father too, as I was a witness to your process, your growth.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we had an easy life, believe it or not, in Saudi. It was a very, very easy life. I mean, we could have stayed there but that wasn't part of our journey. I mean, that was, as Adam said earlier, it was the safe thing to do. It's the safe thing to do. And then through the coaching, it was just like, you know what? Saudi is a land it's a logic-free zone. And yeah, the money is immense and the travel is great and all these things. But what do we really want? And that was to raise our kids right here. I mean, that's right out that's out that window right there. So, and it's been the right decision.
Living your dream.
So when people say, I'm afraid to, you can say, you can offer to, can I tell you a story? You know, I drove a golf cart, did really well for myself. Everywhere I needed to go was right there. I swam in the water 5 days a week, kind of thing. It was a real good life, but it wasn't fulfilling for anyone involved. So, I mean, it was, but it wasn't, right? So for my kids, it was awesome.
There's a common theme that I'm picking up from all of us. And we've all had our different reasons for doing the MCC. But the common theme I'm hearing is the profound transformation that it's had on our lives and on the lives around of the people that are around us. And I always come back to, and you're all too young for this, maybe Fran might remember, do you remember Herbal Essence shampoo commercial? You tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on.
Oh, that's right.
So on.
Yeah.
To me, that's what this is. You know, when I started off, before we had this conversation recorded, I started off by saying the reason that I started the summit, yes, it's because I'd like to see the path to MCC be far more transparent. That's what the purpose of every conversation on the summit is, to help people become more masterful at their craft. And if you're doing coaching as a profession, why wouldn't you raise the bar on your abilities, on your skill set? So that's a kind of no-brainer. But there's a deeper stake in the ground. And that is, you've heard all of us say, we are better human beings as a result of that preparation. So even if you don't have an MCC after your name, it doesn't matter. Like, that's nice to have, absolutely. It's the pinnacle of our profession. At the same time, being a better human being is really the pinnacle of our life. And everything that we do impacts not only ourselves, we're the models for others as we walk this path, as we walk our walk. So I loved what Adam said earlier about, you can't see what you can't see. The world is a mirror for us. It's a pure reflection, but sometimes you need some help. And that's where coaches come in, because you can't see what you can't see. So what do we do well as coaches? We partner. Lisa talked about that. Partnership means we trust our client to know what they know, even when they don't know it. Our job is to help draw it out of them. So many skills that we have are there not just to help someone get a list done, but to be a better human being.
One of the things I often have people approach me that are considering this sacred profession for their lives, their work. And as we talk about it, the framing I have of it is kind of like, well, I mean, first of all, you can become like a marketing person, call yourself a coach and make a bunch of money down that path. That's not what we're talking about. But like this work, transformational, breakthrough, that kind of coaching, masterful coaching, is like having a really, really amazing life, and buying into all of what that entails, which is including not that I need help. This is my wording, not that I need help, but that I recognize I can go deeper with help. I can do my life amazing by myself. I'm reliable for that. I've tested this theory. I'm very good at it, but I can go much deeper and have a much richer life when I engage with the support of someone else. And so coaching is about living that life, and then bolted onto the side of it is this super amazing, ridiculous, lucrative profession, if I want it to be. But like the core, the highway of it is like living this incredible, rich, beautiful, humbling life. That's so cool. It's got integrity baked into it. I love that about this work.
Oh, I so want to build on top of this. So something that Mike said that I'm still thinking about is this idea of safety. He talked about living a very safe life versus not living a safe life, taking some risks, challenging ourselves, going somewhere else, taking the path less traveled. In the coach training program that Adam, Sophia, I, and a million other people that know Annie and love Annie have graduated from, talk about what, as a coach, what if your only job is to have a great life? And at the outset, when you think about that, you're like, oh yeah, like have a great life, like make a lot of money, have some friends, have a good career, whatever. Especially at the masterful or that mastery level, or this, deepening level that we're in, I really got that having a great life is not about any sort of performative exterior thing. It absolutely is about challenging ourselves to grow and progress and be even richer in challenge and happiness and joy. I actually think that joy is probably one of the scariest feelings out there, because it's much scarier to fail at something that you love, or to lose something you love, and then to lose something you don't really care about. And so to have a great life, to have something that you adore, something that you treasure. Oh my gosh, I almost did not have a child because I was so darn scared of all the things that could happen if I had a child. And what happens if he gets hurt? What happens if he gets sick? I don't know if I could be with that. It's really, really scary to fully love, to fully be joyful. It is not the safe thing. It is not the comfortable thing. It is not the convenient thing. It is very much the non-safe thing, but it is about, yes, having a great life and practicing having a great life and modeling that great life.